Okay, welcome back. Now we're moving into the matches between the big guns. We've got Lasker, who has been world champion for over 20 years, and Capablanca, widely regarded as the best player of his generation. I think both these players you'd put in the top five of all time. The match was in 1921. It was some time coming. After the previous match we looked at, the Janowski one in 1910, there were two players, Capablanca and Rubinstein, who were both trying to organize a world chess championship match with Lasker. There were some activities in 1912, 13, and 14. Unfortunately, the First World War came along, and there was no chess for quite some time. Now, after the end of World War One, Capablanca was able to organize a match against Lasker in 1921. Now, it was a best of 24, first player to 12 and a half. It didn't go that long. And these matches, as we go through time, the general standard has been getting better and better. So more difficult to find obvious and glaring and horrible blunders. So I've just got one game to go over very quickly today. So let's move on to that. You can see there that's what happened with the game score. Capablanca is the dotted line at the top. If you look at this chart on the top right, and actually Lasker sort of resigned after 14 games, and he was behind 9-5, as you can see. So Capablanca had sort of got out of the blocks and was well ahead at that stage. So Lasker called it a day, and Capablanca was the new world champion. You can see also that there were sort of two games which had blunders in them. I'm going to look at game 5 with a blunder by Lasker, which just lost the game outright, which was quite unfortunate. And game 11 was quite confusing. It had a couple of blunders in as well. But we'll just go over game 5 now. Just look at the position here. Lasker is black, and it's got quite a strange position there. You can see the knight's threatening a discovered check, and the queen's in a central position. So, and black has one pawn, but he's down the exchange. Now, according to Engine, this position is drawn, and basically white is able to force perpetual check. Let's just have a look. So you can see that this is a process that Capablanca has started. Queen A8 check. Now, just to show you, I've got a variation later, but black can never go to, we'll just add variation, can never go to hide on the king side on g7 because it is mate in 2. Queen rushes across to h8 check. King only has one square, and then queen to h6 is a checkmate. So got to bear that in mind. If you look at this position, black cannot hide in the corner. So what black did, the main line, what black did is king e7. So white is just playing for perpetual check here. Queen to b7 check, and now here's where black blunders. The correct move is that you'll see why black cannot move back, but black should move forward. It looked quite scary actually, but got a line here, king d6, and then it just a check, and then king can go back to d7, for instance. So that's what Lasker should have played. So what he did play was king f8, and you've got to think, what's the difference? King on f8, because remember, white had checked from a8, and now white is going to check from b8. And what's the difference? After white played queen b8 check, Lasker actually resigned, so he's lost the game, which he should have drawn. And just a quick look at just a tactical puzzle. Why is the check on b8 deadly and the check on a8 was not? Pause the video if you like. So having done that, what Capablanca did, queen b8 check, and what Lasker realized to his horror, I guess, is that if he moved to g7 as before, that'll be mate. If he moves to king e7, it is a bit unfortunate because now the white queen has access to e5 square, which is also protected by the rook on h5. And guess what? Black has a lot of pieces lined up on the e file. So it wasn't played. The game finished there, but the continuation is queen e5 check. Queens are off, rook e5 check, and the knight drops. And this is obviously a trivially winning game for Capablanca. So that's kind of unfortunate. Lasker done all the hard work, had a decent position during the game, and just blew it in that one move. Okay, so I think that blunder ends up being about three stars. So, and you may ask yourself, what has happened to the beautiful tier list? So, I've been doing some work in Excel on that. I'll just show you what I've got in Excel. If you're not interested in this, by all means, skip ahead or just wait for the next video. So I've been trying to do the blunder analysis in a systematic way. So you see, I've got a spreadsheet here with all the blunders from all the matches. And then I've just done some sort of quick and dirty but systematic sort of analysis of, the impact over here. Look at the impact of that game, the blunder. What was the impact on the match? What was, was the match already over? What was the impact on the game? Or was it a draw to a loss? Or was it a loss to win? Those sorts of win to a loss. Those sorts of ones are worse. How bad the error was. I'm mainly thinking of that in terms of the material loss. So you can think of it in two ways. What was the impact of material loss, and how complicated was the missed tactic? Was it a one move oversight, which would be really bad, or 10 move oversight, which wouldn't be so bad? And the double one is I get extra points if both the white and the black player missed it, which we've seen a few times. Carlson and And most famously, the recent one. And then I called this was obvious or silly or something like that. Bishop b4 by Chigorin was just a terrible move, and I just added extra points on some games where I think that there's an extra element to it which makes it particularly bad. So I have this sort of just basically a list or database, what you want to call it, in an Excel sheet. And what we're doing in the past is I was just copy pasting by hand the people's chart into the tier list, and it looks something like that. Now, what you should really be thinking about is automating things that you can. And with a list like that in Excel, you can always rely on VBA. Just have a look. Don't laugh at my code. Let's go over this really quickly. First thing I do is I delete all the existing pictures, which I've put the word placed in the alternative text. So if you look at the spreadsheet, I've got the images of the players at the bottom, and they have a name, alternative text, of the name, so the program can find out which picture to place when it's working out the blunders. And then, but to start off with, clean slate, just delete them all. Now, basically, this is the way it works. It just loops around the whole spreadsheet and gets the player, the match, the game, and the move. And once it's got the information, it can then paste the picture in at the appropriate place on the tier. It works out tier 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and paste a copy of the picture there and puts it in the right cell, and then loops around until it gets to the bottom. So very straightforward, very easy, and that's how I came up with the new tier sheet. Delete it and redoes it. Now you can see that now I've added the year that it was in and the move. So who can forget Bishop b4 by Chigorin in 1892? I go down to 1892 also, g5 by Steinitz, where he sort of emulated his own queen, and then the appalling Bishop h2 check by Marshall in 1907. So you can see there are some of the moves we can remember, and obviously you go down to different tiers. So now it'll be a bit more straightforward for me to update this tier list as we're going forward. So that's the Lasker Capablanca match, which very high standard. So we only have that one sort of unfortunate blunder by Lasker to look at, and Lasker's no longer, we won't see him again, and it's Capablanca. And then the next match we'll be looking at is 1927, where Capablanca meets Alekhine. Thank you very much for watching.